We've caught them, folks. I've known for some time, I've reported forever that the vile Sussex squad, who were this week called out on the front page of the Sun newspaper for racist bullying against Sophie Chandoka, the boss of Prince Harry Centre Bali charity.
Drama is erupting inside Meghan Markle's most trusted circle. And royal biographer Angela Levin is pulling no punches.
Who is at war with him. I knew we were going to link them very, very closely to Harry and Meghan. But I didn't necessarily think it was going to be this guy, Daniel Martin, who would provide the key clue. Now, you remember Daniel, don't you? The gay makeup artist from With Love Meghan, who thinks Meghan is like a god, who thinks this woman can do no wrong and is her attack dog on earth. Well, now I'm able to reveal that Daniel Martin is an internet troll. And not just an internet troll, he is working and colluding with the Sussex squad to try and bring down brilliant people, including our very own According to Taz. Let me show you these exchanges, which are not on X, the platform usually used by the Sussex squad, but instead on the Instagram platform Threads, which is maybe why they have been missed for a little bit. So someone called Hermeshes messaged on Threads saying, about our According to Taz, this is misery and sadness and jealousy. God, I love them for this. Derangers share the same brain, honestly. Now, that's just because Tash was saying, I don't give a damn about Meghan's spread. I'm going to have absolutely nothing to do with it. She said she couldn't give a single S word about the launch of a raspberry spread or the daily silly posts on Instagram. I think I'm honestly worn out and bored by Meghan, and I'm not promoting her. Instead, I'm going to have some almond butter and jam on my toast from my favourite brands. What the heck is wrong with that? Well, Daniel Martin, engaging with the Sussex squad, replied, that troll's livelihood has been based on hate, and she won't stop because she needs the money. She's worn out because karma's a bitch, and our light is drowning out her dark-ass soul. Oh, yeah! You really sound like a kind human being. Thank you for providing us the insight into how you and Megsy really speak to each other. But it wasn't just According to Taz who got dragged. What about this on Bethany Frankel, the Housewives star? So WLFT 11 from the squad wrote on Threads, let's add Bethany Frankel to that list, their hit list, I imagine. It's truly laughable that she thinks Meghan should have come to her for advice on business and presentation. One has a top 10 show on Netflix. The other is reviewing cosmetics on TikTok and YouTube. I mean, Daniel Martin, Meghan's BFF, replied, oh Lord, don't even get me started on that hot mess.
In a fiery interview, Levin tears into Meghan's confidant Daniel Martin, calling him envious and vile, and hinting that there's a much darker game going on behind the scenes.
What about Tina Brown? Tina Brown, one of the most respected journalists in the world. Well, Funny Ada from the squad wrote, sit down, Tina. Your thirsty fangs are showing. And this is simply because Tina Brown criticised the Duchess of Sussex for misjudging the cultural moment, calling it fake perfection. Well, Daniel Martin replied, saying, I sat on a TV news show in 2019 with Tina Brown when at the time defending Meghan and Harry. Since then, she's completely flipped and has become so jealous, racist, envious, and vile. So if you criticise Meghan, you are a racist. He has just called Tina Brown a racist. I hope she sues him. From Jennifer Taylor in regards to Meghan McCain, Jennifer Taylor Skinner, I'm going to send her a jar of Meghan's jam. With love, Meghan. Daniel Martin replies, the jealousy and envy McCain has with M is really disturbing. I think she truly needs help. These outbursts of rage is not healthy. And responding to the trolls who revealed the fact that Meghan's bath salts recipe was actually so whack that it could have caused some serious harm, Daniel Martin replied, I can attest that no harm was done to me by her bath salts that she graciously made for me. Now, look, there's a really serious side to this, though, because if you take the case of According to Taz, for example, she has been targeted very, very badly. by the Sussex Squad. They made her life miserable for months. And she believes, and this is the key point, that Harry and Meghan are fueling the squad. And the fact that we now have evidence of Daniel Martin, the BFF, the man who appeared on the first episode of With Love, Meghan, engaging with these absolute cretins, these trolls, and becoming a troll himself, I think that's never looked closer. Here's what, according to Taz, has to say about this in her first public comments.
Hey Dan, yes, well, it came as a bit of a surprise for me. That's all I can really say about that. A friend of mine messaged me and said, "You're not going to believe who's talking about you." And she was right, I didn't, because I just presumed that when I saw Daniel Martin bad-mouthing me, I just presumed it was someone that had set up a fake profile. But no, it turns out this is actually the Daniel Martin, the makeup artist from the royal wedding, and also more recently who appeared on Harry and Meghan's, or rather Meghan's With Love Meghan show. And it seems that he's not really given me a whole lot of love. Now, I don't mind the fact that Daniel has formulated an opinion of me. I don't mind the fact that he's talking to strangers on the internet about me. It just goes to show that he obviously has seen bits of my show, as probably have Harry and Meghan. What actually shocked me most was who he was talking to. He's laughing and joking and being unkind with the Sussex Squad, who I call the internet terrorists. This is Harry and Meghan's toxic fan base who target people to levels where police are often called. I've had the police called to my home. They've targeted my family, my husband. They even used images of my father who died 10 years ago. There is no level that they will not stoop to, and they have done this to many, many people, including the more extreme, where people get death threats. And here you have one of Meghan's best friends, or her best friend on Netflix at least, who is conversing with them. And I can't help but feel this further adds to my suspicions that Harry and Meghan are a lot more involved with the Sussex Squad. I've had my suspicions since Christopher Boozy targeted me and then appeared on their Netflix show. But this just adds fuel to the fire that Harry and Meghan are happy with the actions of the most toxic fan base in the world. And the fact that they've got friends laughing and joking with them makes me think that Harry and Meghan obviously pass certain narratives perhaps to set their flying monkeys on people. We've seen more recently that Dr. Chandalka has come off of social media because the Sussex Squad were activated and have gone after her to the point that she shut every social media account that she has down. This is honestly really scandalous because it shows that Harry and Meghan, who talk about online campaigning against bullying, they are actively now involved, whether it is second or third hand getting their friends to do dirty work, with one of the most dangerous and nasty fan bases, I think, if not the most dangerous and nasty fan base that have ever existed for any other celebrity. And that to me has really shocked me. Anyway, on the plus side, it's obvious that Harry and Meghan have seen my show.
Who really runs Meghan's inner circle? And why is Daniel Martin suddenly in the spotlight? Let's break down the latest royal firestorm.
You're absolutely winning, Tash. You are absolutely winning because you have got under their skin. Angela Levin, our royal mastermind, joins me now. Angela, this is absolutely astonishing, isn't it? Daniel Martin fueling the Sussex Squad, Meghan's BFF. What do you make of it?
Well, I think that he's probably doing it. He looks rather a weak person.
Yeah.
And he's probably doing it because that will help him stay as a cook. And that will mean his money's coming in. I think people like that actually are so pathetic that they think they're going to, do very well about being rude to people. But actually, they're very silly people. And he thinks he's so wonderful that then it shows that he's just an idiot because he wants to keep going. He wants to be, put her facials on. He just thinks she's so wonderful. And it's a great charm for him to be able to touch her because she's angelic and lovely. And so he says he'll do anything for her. And serve him right now, he's caught.
But what about calling Tina Brown racist? I mean, as he admits himself, Angela, Tina Brown was a defender of Meghan Markle. It was only after her behaviour changed and became so overwhelming that she then criticised her, and he has called her just out and out a racist.
Yeah, that's absolutely what he would do. Here's a big, strong woman who said big, strong words in books. And so if he can get her, it's like catching a fish. You put the string in and you wind it round. Yes, and it's just, you don't really want a fish. You just want to win. And I think that's what he's all about.
And then also Meghan McCain attacked and Bethany Frankel attacked. And in fact, we've played Bethany Frankel's videos about Meghan on the show, Angela. And I would argue she's actually been very balanced. She's almost been trying to provide Meghan some advice. And then when it comes to Meghan McCain, she used to love Meghan Markle. Like, she was, again, one of her defenders for quite some time until her behaviour became so overwhelming.
Yeah, but I think it all goes with the more awkward they are to get grips with, the more satisfaction they will have. But what's interesting is that Meghan, I'm sure, has nothing to do with them. They might be very polite, treat her like a queen, treat her like somebody absolutely who's brilliant and knows exactly what she's doing and would do anything for her, but she couldn't care less who they go for and who they don't. And I think that just makes her happy, that she feels protective. And look at Harry, he's got to do that as well, hasn't he? If not, what trouble is he in? And I think that's right, because she's just a very, very unpleasant person who's only thinking of herself. So much so, if I just move on, is that it's appalling that she doesn't even think she should say something about Harry, not a hint about her husband, when we saw her making some sort of strange soup with, making it with both hands.
Oh my gosh, yes. Can we look at that first, Angela?
Yeah,
actually, before you go on, I think we just have to look at it, because I'm sorry, I thought this was, well, that's actually the soup, which was awful, but there is also now this chantilly recipe that she has put out. This is the new one, and I thought it just looked awful.
Daniel Martin, celebrity makeup artist, brand ambassador and longtime friend of Meghan Markle. He's the man behind her wedding day makeup look and often seen as part of her ride or die crew since her royal days.
It's really good without. Because once you get to the bottom, it tastes all the banana. Is that a look of joy? I was like, and?
I'm muted.
Dun.
I'll tell you when I'm done.
Angela, so that was the one where Doria just looked so mortified, didn't she? But actually, there's now a new one. There's another one, which I think looks even worse.
Hey, Mommy. And boop.
Yeah, for the dog. Oh, gosh.
So unhygienic, Angela.
Yeah, I mean, and he's ill, so he could have all sorts of unpleasant.
I actually don't think she can cook. Anyway, I interrupted you because I just wanted people to actually see that recipe. You go on, sorry.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that, she's dancing, she's singing, she's looking as if she's very happy. Nothing about Harry, nothing. And if you look at it, she's writing to you, you don't know how much love I'm sending you. Says, I suspect if you want to, flour sprinkles on an omelette will make your partner love you. That's what she's saying.
But your point, Angela, which I think is...
My point is that she's not anybody who wants to love. What love does she give out? Not to her husband, not to her father. So she's the last person you want to listen to and do what she says, because actually she's going to hate you all unless you bow down to her. So it's nonsense. It's really spiteful nonsense. And actually, someone who can think they can help people by that is really impossible. And I think as well that banana thing you pointed out earlier, that's supposed to be Lily, especially for Lily, her daughter. And she says that it's absolutely lovely. But what she does, she's got the bananas at the bottom. I'm not giving you the exact thing. She's got the bananas at the bottom, a few biscuits, and then she's got strawberries to keep them very tasty. She's squeezing lemon juice on it. Now, if a child is 3, would they like strawberries with lemon juice on? No, it would take absolutely revolting. So what is she talking about? Does she not even know that? Answer, no.
Very true. But Angela, I think the bigger point that you're making is that what you are shocked by is that all of this PR is going on while Harry is mired in this absolutely astonishing bust up over the Centre Bali charity where he's been accused of racism, accused of discrimination. So much of this involves Meghan Markle because, of course, it's down to her fallout with Dr. Sophie Chandoka, specifically at that Centre Bali charity event. And the irony here is that it was Harry, no doubt pressured by Meghan, that was almost bullying Sophie Chandoka into giving a statement to defend Meghan. But Meghan this week has not been prepared to defend Harry at all. Total radio silence. And you think, or you told me that you think, that she's trying to prove that she can manage alone without him.
But now his loyalty is being questioned. And Angela Levin says there's more to this man than meets the eye.
Yes, I mean, I think she's doing that as a test for the last few weeks, and that's why she sends him away, so she can work it out. That's why he was only allowed to come to the last 8-part thing for Netflix, and he was only allowed there for 3 minutes. He came up, told her she was wonderful, smiled, quick kiss, off. And I think that is, he just needed to be there for a moment, just so that he showed that she was wonderful. But actually, she doesn't really care if he's there. She's got it now. You think of all the things she's got. Confessions with Females Found with Love, Meghan, as ever. You know, how much more does a woman need to show that she's doing good? You know, you don't need any of that. You're like somebody who loves you and you love them back. But with hers, that's not the way she thinks. She thinks on actually winning and beating somebody and leaving them behind. But because she's pretty and she smiles nicely, people think that she's very attractive. But if you go a bit lower down, I don't mean that in a vulgar way, but if you go through her skin a bit, she's not at all. Actually, she's a nightmare.
Indeed. There's also been, of course, a total disaster in terms of the launch of With Love. With As Ever, Meghan. It's all been done so last minute. And Nancy Sidley had a really good spot. She posted, so Meghan is putting press kits out after the launch to the general public. That makes no sense. And who even does unboxing anymore? That's so 10 years ago. But if we have a look at this, Angela, she did finally get some influencers. The biggest name is Kris Jenner, you know, the Kardashian mum. That was a bit of a coup. But everyone else is sort of minor league. But the irony with this, Angela, is the boxes arrived too late because they're posting all of this stuff and making a huge deal over all of this stuff. But you can't actually go to the website and buy the products because they're apparently all sold out. So, the whole thing has just been bizarre.
I don't think they were ever there. Because she hasn't
totally
had the trademark. You can't do that without a trademark. You can't do that. And so this is the best way of keeping us all waiting. And I think that the waiting is actually to take her mind off Saint-Tropez, because if we don't talk about that, we don't talk about Harry, we're still focused on Meghan. And I think she often does this. When something else is happening, she woofs in with something that's completely the opposite that she's doing so that we actually change our focus. But we're not that stupid. And actually to think that you can't give out something and yes, you talk about it. And I think the Telegraph said that actually what she's doing is saying that, oh, it's all gone. She's only got 9 different things that she could have. And she says this is they're only there 10, maximum 20. They've all gone. You have to wait for some more. Well, my feeling is that they never were there in the first place. You can always pretend that someone's taking a few and a few of your friends you've given them to, but she can't give them away. She can't sell them. They can't be sold without this trademark. It's got a special number, and you can see that on it, that you're not allowed to sell like that. Certainly not if you see somebody holding a dog, carrying a dog, and you're actually cooking at the same time. My goodness, no thank you. And I think that this whole thing is she's waiting to get the trademark. But in the meantime, she's talking about it as if it's there, and if the people can first taste it, and it's absolutely lovely. She even goes to tell us how to make a cup of tea. Put the cup in, put the spoon round a few times, or if you want 2 cups of tea, you must can put them both in, and you can have a stronger version. I mean, she talks to us as if we're incompetent, but it's not really warm, is it? It's not really, comfortable. It's just a mess. And the more she's doing, the more she's having a mess. She shouldn't be doing everything at once, because who knows what time it is and what's going on. And actually you get very bored. And that's a silly thing to do, because she's quite boring anyway. You've got to hold yourself back and make sure that you wait, and then everything's done well. So when will the next load come in? Of course she doesn't know, because there isn't one.
She's calling out a toxic culture inside Meghan's circle, hinting that Daniel is playing the PR game hard. But for whose benefit?
And then Angela Piers-Morgan, I think, has made a really fair point in regards to the Prince Harry sent to Bali investigation, with the Charity Commission in the UK now looking into it. We have to remember, Angela, Piers-Morgan lost his job on Good Morning Britain because the morning after that Oprah interview, which I have said on the record numerous times was just a tissue of lies in so many directions, Piers-Morgan called out Meghan as a liar, specifically in terms of all of her claims about mental health issues while she was in the palace. Well, now, of course, Harry, in this new statement against Dr. Sophie Chandoka, is accusing her, a black woman, of being a blatant liar. So Piers, I think, made a completely valid point, given his own experience, where he wrote, breaking, Prince Harry calls a black woman who made allegations of racism and harassment against a member of the royal family a liar. How comically ironic. I wonder if Meghan will now write to him demanding he apologise for disbelieving the accuser's truth. And I think this is the problem. Harry and Meghan were so quick to cry racism based on any form of criticism, that now they have to be held to those same standards.
Yeah, the problem with that is they're so vicious. They go on and on and on. You remember, Piers-Morgan was sacked from his job because of what Meghan was saying and wouldn't let go. He actually had to get up, and he probably got up and walked out. But you can see here, Meghan does not like Sophie. She's clinging on to a friend's hand, and like a little girl of 3, and not wanting to see someone she doesn't like. She walks straight past her as if she's not going to take the slightest bit of notice. Now, anyone with the slightest manners could, even if you don't people, you just nod your head, say hello, and you carry on. But to try and cut them off, and then this with the trophy, it just infuriates me, because she arrived very late. She's got nothing to do with polo. She didn't watch the match. And she thinks she's so important that she must choose who goes where. And of course, she must go in the middle because she's the most important person there. Well, she wasn't involved in it at all. Women don't sort of go up afterwards, however nicely they might have dressed, and said, move over, husband or boyfriend, or I'm going to stand in the middle. I mean, that's a nonsense. And to allow Sophie to crawl underneath the trophy looks so degenerate from their point of view. How dare they do that for a very educated, charming woman? You don't treat anyone like that. And then get in touch. Harry got in touch and said, stated, not request. I mean, they should never do that request anyway, and asked her to sort of try and get everything right. Meghan saying, no trouble at all. It was fine. You didn't mind, and she's wonderful. How dare she? And she quite rightly said, I'm not going to be part of your PR department. And that's completely right. So then he sent a very, very nasty letter to her that said all sorts of rude things, including, I believe, racist things. And that is just, it's a goner, isn't it? But the problem is they can go on and on and on and on because they're very determined. I mean, Meghan is still blaming the late Queen Elizabeth for things that she said, and the prince that they said, and whatever's happened since then. She can't actually leave things alone and move on and have a nice life. She's got to get revenge. It's the big letter that she should have, on a jumper in front of her. I want revenge. Because she doesn't move forward. She's stuck. And so therefore Harry's stuck because she won't let him go forward. He's still got to hate his own family. He's still got to try and get to see his unwell father and get an apology from him for her. I mean, it is just unbelievable. If it was a book, and indeed if this was on a TV documentary, their story, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't think it was real. You'd think this is far too ridiculous to believe it. And I think that's what it's like now.
Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Daniel Martin is just a loyal friend or something more calculated? Smash that like button, subscribe for more uncensored royal deep dives, and hit the bell so you never miss what the mainstream won't tell you. See you in the next one.